Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Debbie Payne. I've been working in the agri-processing for the last 20 years. And what I have discovered that there's a need for investing in women farmers. They're the ones who are 40% of our workforce in Africa. And yet they're the ones who are struggling the most to have access to finance, to skills. So let's start and go ahead. What I wanted to ask is, does land have a gender? Or possibly maybe crops have a gender? I think that's something just to think about, because we talk about motherland because women are nurturers and the land is normally talk about the female in the female version, and yet they are the ones who struggle the most. They constitute so much of our agricultural force, but the men are the ones who make decisions. Women are the ones who normally get land, but the land is inferior. If they decide on the crops are decided by the men. So I think we have to look at women in agriculture, and let's look what they look like, because I think our impression of women in agriculture is different. But this is what women in agriculture look like currently. That's who they really are. They're entrepreneurs, they're businesswomen, they look at their farming as something where they can grow their crops, they can use the crops to feed their family, they can use their crops as a means to have the communities working there. It feeds the community, and it creates a huge network of people that will benefit from them. And just by studies that have gone on, it's known fact that when women are farmers, the money gets plowed back into family and farm. This doesn't always happen with our male counterparts. Because of their livelihoods, and most of them in developing countries are responsible for nutrition. Women are responsible for the nutrition of households and of the greater communities. When they have got struggles with their farm, they will go and investigate and they will learn about it. There's a definite need for skills, and we've developed a program where the skills are there to help them in the business side and on the ground, so that it's an all-encompassing program and they're not left alone. They feel that they've got a mentor. They can phone somebody to ask them if there's just a small issue that they need to, because they're left alone and just have to try and fend for themselves. So there's a definite need for us to invest in proper land, invest in materials, invest in machinery, because that will grow the African continent as the food basket where we really need it. This is a saying that by James Baldwin: the purpose of education is to create in a person the ability to look at the world for himself and make his own decisions. I know this refers to his and not hers, but I do believe that women should be able to make decisions for themselves on their land and in their farm. That's most essential, or to have a community where you have the men and the women making equal decisions going forward, and not be left that they have to just listen to what's being told to them as to make their own, because they often know what they need in life. They have more challenges than the men, in that only 5% of them have got access to information, although 80% of them are the farmers. They need access to land and water. And as I've said before, they normally get inferior land given to them, but they need access to water. And nowadays there's ways with climate smart farming to be able to irrigate in a smart way so that we save our water and our inputs. They also have great difficulty getting loans, because loans are normally based on land, and land's normally owned by males. So there has to be a change of mindset to be able to get the woman to be able to own the land and therefore be able to access grants from the banks or from other institutions. But this is what some of the farmers in South Africa are saying. These are, as you can see, there's a lady who's doing 2 jobs. She's got a bed and breakfast, she's director of the bed and breakfast, and she farms chickens at the same time. So she's farming and she's creating for herself. Then there's another lady who has a farm where she has started with farming bees, and she's now built it into a bigger place. And her advice is to look at the farm and run it like a business. It's not just from the land, but you have to look at the whole marketing. You have to look at where your product's going, who wants your market, and to see if there is a market for your product going further. And I like Zendela's, she's got a degree in agriculture, and she's also growing and carrying out 2 jobs. So you can see from these examples of these farmers that most of them are actually running two jobs, and for them it's just like a breeze. So that's one of the reasons why I think that women really need to be considered, because the responsibility of them paying back is greater than what we have with some of our counterparts. Here's the slide of the person that I was telling you, who's done a huge ecosystem and been fantastically climate smart. I've put on the slide here a YouTube which you can watch, a link that you can go to. Her name is Emma, and she has 1 acre. And on her 1 acre, she has cows, she has chickens, she has pigs. The pigs, she uses the manure to make maggots. The maggots feed the chickens. The chickens then, she has eggs, so she sells the eggs. She then feeds, she grows, she got aquaponics where she has tilapia, and through that she grows vegetables and salads, which she sells into the market. She also uses that to grow tomatoes, and she has cows as well, where she has the milk, and that's all on 1 acre. She then feeds her family, plus she makes money to be able to sell, and she's a vet, so she works as well. So people will just see that these women are such hard workers, and they can, in one day, they can achieve huge amounts. And if we let more women farmers and give them more abilities to have skills and finances to access, then we will have we won't have to worry about food scarcity going forward. If you have women farmers, you also have the benefits of the Sustainability Development Goals of the United Nations. If we had to use women for our training, we will alleviate poverty. There'll be 0 hunger. The education will go up because we will be training them and upskilling them, and gender equality. And it will also be good health because they'll be eating nutritional food. So if we all want to obtain these goals for sustainable development, I think that we should consider having more opportunities for our female counterparts. We've noticed the skills gaps with females, and therefore we have developed programs to help them. Climate smart best practices are very important in this day and age, because we want to look after our earth and make sure that we can continue growing healthy vegetables without plowing nonsense into our grounds. We want to give them business skills so that they are self-sufficient and be able to manage their company financially, but also to be able to negotiate with buyers and know that they're not being done in. Marketing, to know what the market wants, so that they don't just grow things because they've been sold seeds to grow carrots, and they rather will grow something that's needed in the market. Branding, so that they can stand out in a crowd and they know that this brand is representing them and their company. And financial knowledge, so that once they look at their books at the end of the month or the end of the year, they know what's going on, and that they can negotiate with the bank on a level that's equivalent to anybody else in business. And that's why we need to develop more programs for them to be able to work through this. We've also have opportunities now for digital skills. So we need to help them with the different apps that are available, different platforms. There are many platforms where they can sell their produce and they don't have to worry about a middleman. They can put their produce on the market and the buyer can connect with them directly. So I think going forward, if we have to just look at how we can invest in our women and allow them to grow so that we can have a better sustainable environment. Please look at the goals and see how we can work together to get more women farmers and get them growing to keep us healthy. Thank you. I hope that if there's anything more, this will be available for you to contact us. We have skills development programs that you can contact us, and we will work with you and the farmers to get them up to speed. Thank you. Bye.